Okay, now the last one. There's the inner cover. All the bees are gone. So the inner cover, I meant the skateboard. No bees above the skateboard. It works. Oh, holy mackerel. It is hot. Okay, well that's not gonna fit. So there's the skateboard I put on last week. And I'm just gonna leave it on there for now. I'll come by next week and remove it, because right now if I pull that off, it's just gonna be loaded down with bees. I just don't feel like dealing with that right now. So I'll just put the inner cover on. And by inner cover I mean piece of hard insulation. And there we go. So all the bees that were filling the top of this hive, the top 5 mediums, are now down to the bottom 4 mediums. So they're really packed in there. So that'll help concentrate their efforts in completely filling the rest of this box, and hopefully the rest of the other boxes too. There's a little bit of brood up here in one frame, so that's got to emerge. But once it emerges, they should backfill it. But really, I'm done with this hive for the rest of the year. At the most, I will take that top super off for honey. But hopefully they'll have enough down here in these bottom black boxes where the brood is going into winter. And I'll take that top box off and either put the frames aside for emergency top-ups on the hives, or I'll just steal it for myself. And so the next step after this is extract those 5 boxes of honey, probably over the next week, and then take those wet frames and put them out for the bees to just suck down all the wet honey that's in the frames. And then I'll store those frames for the rest of the winter, and off we go. Start it over again next year. This colony over here, it's got a nice young queen. I pulled some pollen off them today, and a ton of pollen. I can see how most pollen sold in stores is goldenrod, because it's just a huge flow of pollen, of goldenrod pollen right now. They have so much pollen they don't really need all the pollen that they collect. That's why I collect it now, and I feed it back to them in the spring, to the weaker colonies in the spring, small nukes and things like that. Real pollen mixed with fondant is probably better than any commercially available bee booster or anything like that. It's just real pollen, get the real deal, and they love it. So this is this one. Yeah, good colony, man. The genetics in this colony are just whew, super duper. I plan to make a split next year with these early spring, and I want to split off those genetics and get a couple more, see if I can get 1 or 2 more queens out of this colony before the queen gets old and dies. Right now this queen is at least 2 years old, maybe 3 or 4, probably 3, and she's going strong, right? There's no slowing down. Just incredible. Whew. Alright, so I've got 5 medium supers in the back of my car, but the car won't close, and I could rearrange it so that it does, but I'm just not going to bother. I'm going to just go down the road. It's only about 10 minutes, and hopefully they won't flop at the back. The skateboard did its job. I put that on last Sunday, I think it was, and today's Saturday, and except for a few stragglers like this, all the honey boxes are empty. So way to go, it's skateboard. And this is, oh, this is the most pollen I've been able to pull from a hive since I've been doing this for a couple of years now, 2 or 3 years. This is the goldenrod pollen. It's huge. I had it on too long though. I had it on for about 6 days, so that's probably another reason why there's a lot there, but that's it for the year for them. I'm not going to do it again, so they'll still be fine. They have plenty of pollen in there already. I think they're gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Got a bee crawling on me here. Here you go, buddy. My way. These are the 5 supers full of honey, and they're inside my house in a spare room in the basement. And if you listen, It sounds like there's a lot of bees buzzing in there, but it's probably only about a dozen or so, but they're all stuck between these frames, and it just amplifies the small number of bees to make it sound like there's more. And sometime this week, or who knows, maybe next weekend, I'll extract all this honey. These honey frames, there's 10 in each of these medium boxes, and usually I put in 8 or 9 frames instead of 10, because when you put in 8 or 9, you actually it spaces out the frames, and the bees make bulkier, thicker frames or combs, and you actually get more honey by putting in less frames. But I didn't do that this year. I didn't put an queen excluder on, and I didn't space my frames. I was just very minimal this year in my beekeeping, and just to try it out, and it's working. But I think I would prefer to have it spaced with 9 frames or 8, because it's a lot easier. You can see here, some of the comb over here is bulging out, and that stuff is easy to cut off before you extract it. But a lot of it is just right in line. It doesn't bulge out. It's just perfectly in line with the frame, and it takes a little bit more finagling around to get. Oh, that's a nice bulgy one there. It takes a bit more finagling around to get the honey cappings off that, or the wax cappings. So yeah, there's advantages to it's going with 9 frames, but again, if you don't have time for it, just screw it. You'll still get honey. Anywho, that's it. I have to clean up my extractor, sanitize it, all that fun stuff, and I have to gut my garage. I have to turn it into a food safe environment before I can extract, and that might take a little bit of time because I'm just a messy, sloppy guy. So it might not be until next week before I get this done, but anyway, that's it. Done.